So I was a guitar-loving kid in the early 80s. I was a Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen loving kid. I grew up just loving fast, clean, melodic guitar. Richie Blackmore, Michael Schenker, Alan Holdsworth. They were all my idols. Just incredible. And then in 1984, I heard Yngwie Malmsteen with Alcatraz, and I was completely floored. Like so many in the rock guitar world, our minds were blown when we heard Yngwie for the first time. And he was so articulate, and he could alternate pick up and down one string just flawless. His synchronization was incredible. His pedal tones, really everything about Yngwie at that period was groundbreaking and totally mind-blowing. But the one aspect of Yngwie's playing that really, I think, blew away the whole guitar world was Yngwie's clean arpeggio use. If you go back to the summer of 1985, I think that summer, there was one thing everyone was trying to do if they played guitar, and that was play arpeggio. I mean, I can't tell you how many hours I spent in my room between 1984 and 1985, just taking a couple of the Yngwie 3-string arpeggio shapes and just sitting there for hours trying to play these things. And it never really came for me, and it was very frustrating. My playing has always been a major jump instantaneously. I'll go for long periods of time where I'm just practicing something that never feels right, and I keep experimenting with different motions or hand movements or whatever, and then all of a sudden it clicks and it's there. And it's incredible when that happens. And I can remember several times in my life, my guitar playing life, where it happened. I can remember the first time I learned how to pick fast, and the first time I learned how to play Yngwie sweep style arpeggios. And I thought I'd share the story with you. I think it's pretty cool. It was actually summer 1985, and there was this incredible event happening, really historic, that never really happened before. It was broadcast on MTV and different stations all around the world, and that was a Live Aid concert, an incredible Live Aid concert. And if my memory serves me right, I think it was late morning, because they were broadcasting from Wembley Stadium. And the lineup was incredible. I mean, unbelievable lineup of musicians. They had from Black Sabbath, I think they played in America, but you had like Queen was unbelievable that day. Just so many mind-blowing artists. And I remember sitting on my couch just watching this spectacle, this historic spectacle. You know, I was like 18 years old. I never really witnessed anything globally like this. And it was so cool to be like part of a shared experience, knowing that people all around the world were watching this incredible event. And I remember sitting there on the couch just practicing these arpeggios, trying to get these arpeggios down, playing along to the music, and you know, nothing was happening. I couldn't get them the way I wanted to sound. And something incredible happened. I remember U2 came out. Now, I was a kind of a fan of U2. I'd seen their Red Rocks concert, I think on Nickelodeon. The Kid Station back then used to show some concerts. I think I saw REM on there also. And so I liked them. I thought they were really passionate. I remember reading about them in 1980 when their first album came out, and the review described it as U2 as music for a foggy night. So that kind of intrigued me. I always like kind of moody stuff. Well, that afternoon, U2 came out, and I think the first song they played at Live Aid was Sunday Bloody Sunday, and it was awesome. I thought it was great. And all of a sudden, U2 went into this. The Edge started playing this. Started to sing, and the song was Bad from The Unforgettable Fire. Now, I hadn't really heard The Unforgettable Fire at that time, just probably in the name of love. So the song Bad wasn't on my radar. You know, it's the first time I was hearing it. And I was really blown away by the sincerity of the band and just that global moment, you know. I think U2 really rose to the moment. It was incredible, you know. And I remember it was like A major to D major. So I was just practicing arpeggios while I was watching this. Wasn't really aware of what my fingers were doing. And then the song unfolded and I was memorized. It was absolutely incredible. I remember Bono took a girl from the audience and was dancing with her, and I remember he started singing the Stones' Ruby Tuesday, and it was great. And Bono, when he went into that one part, I'm Wide Awake, I had like goosebumps. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I remember seeing all of Wembley Stadium on TV, just watching this memorizing performance, and it was mind-blowing. And I was so distracted by this performance that my fingers just started moving to the beat. I wasn't even really aware of it. I was just tapping my fingers to the beat, to that major arpeggio. I don't even remember if I was picking. I just remember all of a sudden I felt the phrase, you know. And I talk a lot about on my channel, when you're playing something, you want to feel it as a phrase. And I just started feeling that. And what was amazing was I was so caught up into that performance, I didn't even realize I was playing it in time. I was playing it right. I wasn't even aware of what I was doing, but I was doing it. And I remember I realized it. It dawned on me that I was actually playing this lick. And I messed it up. I remember kind of messing up trying to find it again, but I could find it. Once I initially felt that initial thing of what it felt like to play a lick, to sweep pick that lick, I could do it. And I owe it all to Bono and U2 at that performance. Just distracted me and just playing at the right tempo that I could do it, and just being totally blown away by their performance. And you know, that's always been something I've taken away from that, ever since that moment. That when I'm practicing something, I try to get out of my own way. But I think that muscle memory that we can develop, you know, I was practicing that lick for a year probably, you know, trying to sweep an arpeggio like that to get it to sound like that, and I couldn't. But once I got out my own way, my muscle memory didn't realize what I was doing, and it felt different, and I could do it. Another thing that's really cool that really helped me, that I didn't realize, that I was really feeling the time. So I was actually letting the pick fall into the next string. I had like control. You know, the motion happened. I didn't rush it. That's always been my case. I always found myself rushing like the first two notes and everything falls apart. And usually back then, the problem was always I was rushing the first two notes, you know. I was just taking off before I realized what the phrase was. And then I just translated that into some Yngwie runs I was trying to do at the time. And a little practice, I had it. And I remember it was so cool because this was the summer of '85. So everyone was trying to play like Yngwie. I think you had David T. Chastain come out with Mystery of Illusion, kind of playing that neoclassical style they were playing. Vinnie Moore with Vicious Rumors definitely was a successor to Yngwie style. It's a little bit before Tony Macalpine and a lot of those players. But I remember that summer, I kind of got the arpeggios down, and I would just go everywhere I could, to music stores or wherever, and show off these arpeggios. And people are like, wow, man, you can play that Yngwie, you know. It was pretty cool. I felt like King of the Hill because I deciphered the Yngwie arpeggios, you know. But it took me a year, you know, from hearing Alcatraz initially to trying some of those arpeggios to 1985, Live Aid. And then I just developed it. And it was really incredible. And that era was just unbelievable. I mean, if you look at it, there were so many groundbreaking bands and guitar players around then. Like U2, I mean, U2 kind of paved the way the whole 90s back in the 80s. You know, they sang about things that were different than, you know, the LA bands at the time and stuff. And I've always loved a lot of different styles, you know. I would listen to U2 and Yngwie and classical music and Frank Sinatra and Miles Davis. I just love things that move me emotionally. And I remember playing in a band back then, and we would do Led Zeppelin. We would go into Evil Eye by Yngwie, and then we would play U2, Pride in the Name of Love, and Bullet the Blue Sky, and stuff like that. So I was always all over the map. But it kind of comes out of my playing, and I'm glad that I really love things like that and can mix up the styles a lot. But Yngwie at that period was just so unbelievable, that summer of '85. It was all about Yngwie, because Eddie Van Halen, you know, we didn't know, but at the time, behind the scenes, they were breaking up. David was leaving the band, and so Eddie was kind of quiet in 1985 until they come roaring back with 5150 in '86. And it was really the year of Yngwie. Yngwie was king, and he was releasing a lot of great material, because he came out with Alcatraz and Live Sentence. Not with Alcatraz, and I think Live Sentence was the first time I really heard that full, you know, kind of arpeggio thing that Yngwie did. You know, there's another one I spent hours trying to get, and that sound was just so unbelievable and mind-blowing at that time. It was so melodic, and just that blur of notes, but everything clear and defined. We kind of take it for granted nowadays, but at the time it was unbelievable. The guitar player could play with so much authority and fire and play all those notes and have every note be defined and audible and musical and really beautiful. And it's easy now when we hear it to be like, oh, you know, three-string arpeggios, oh, great, you know. But at the time, that was coming from Yngwie's heart. He was feeling that stuff. And there's just something different about it when it's organic and it's just part of your playing and you're feeling it. And it's unique to you. I still think Yngwie's the best at that. He has the tone, the touch. There's just a beauty in his playing. And when he plays those arpeggios, it's definitely a thing of beauty. I mean, 1985 is the year of arpeggios. If you went to any music store, I'm sure you'd hear all sorts of really horrible sweep picking. And sweep picking is one of those techniques where it's real easy to sound horrible with, just a mess, you know, rhythmically and everything. But that Live Aid day was just incredible. I mean, I remember seeing Sabbath, and I love Black Sabbath, and Ozzy reunited with them, and, you know, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant played together again, and it was great. I remember going to a party that night, drinking a bunch of Budweiser with my friends at a bonfire, and Live Aid was on the radio, so I missed some of the performances. But I actually left the party early because I went to go home and sweep pick some more. I went to play my arpeggios, you know, and I remember telling everyone that I could, you know, I learned to play the arpeggios like Yngwie and stuff. The only problem was I drank too much beer when I went home and tried them. It was a sloppy mess because I recorded it, but luckily I found the motions the next day and continued to build on them. But yeah, I really enjoy sharing these stories with you and talking about this stuff. I think historically it's a lot of fun to look back, so... Anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe and leave some comments if you saw the Live Aid performance when it happened. Let me know who your favorite band was that day. I know people loved Queen's performance. It was pretty incredible, but nothing will top U2 for me. But if you like this, please like and subscribe. And to all of you that have, thank you so much. And until next time, have fun picking.